Hi guys, welcome to AR with Renu, and in this part 2 tutorial on tweening, we're going to learn on how to use behavior script to actually enable the fading away effect. So before I could just explain further on behavioral script, I just want to go to Google and show you what exactly behavior script really means. Okay, so if you go to behavior script on Lens Studio, I'll definitely drop this link in the description below so you can actually check this thing out. So if you go to the under Lens Studio, if you go to the guides part, there's something called behaviors helper script. Okay, so what behavior helper script really does, when it comes to like you creating an effect, you need to make sure you like the people who's going to interact with that lenses or the filters is having fun with it. And normally people will have fun whenever they try to do some facial expressions or something and there's some kind of response. So normally what happens is that there will be a lens right in front of your face and then you'll just play with it. But then what kind of features or facial expressions that you're gonna do that's gonna make something else come out of it? So think of it in terms of the dog lenses. Okay, the dog lens actually. So the dog lens on Lens Studio, I mean on Snapchat, right? I think that's one of the most famous lens out there. The dog lens where you just open your mouth and then the tongue will just come out and go in. That is a behavior helper script based lens. So it's basically when you don't do anything, it's just like that whole what you call you don't have any tongue appearing or something like that. But then when you open your mouth, which is the trigger that you have enabled, it will give you a certain type of response, and that response is basically when that whole tongue is coming out. So if you go to this particular documentation under Lens Studio, you will be able to see plenty of what you call triggers and in terms of like what you call the responses that you can set up and the time and everything, almost every single thing that you can imagine for you to create triggers, you can actually use this behavior script to like achieve that what you call that type of like what you call like effects. But here's the thing, normally what happens is that you gotta code this whole thing. So think about it, let's say you want to enable like create a lens where when someone opens their mouth something happens, like maybe the tongue comes out, right? Normally what happens is that you got a code, but now you can just use the behavior script to enable that thing just by dragging, just by just like enabling few things and then it's already like happening for you. So you don't even have to do any coding even for the behavior script. That's like the most awesome part of Lens Studio. That's the part that I love the most, because you don't need to actually code a single thing for you to achieve an effect where it looks like you have coded something. That's exactly, I think, you should be like, being able to like play with it all the time. All right, so you can definitely go through this whole documentation. There's plenty for you to read and do some kind of experiment with it and try to see how it really works. So now let's just dive back to the main ingredient of this tutorial. Okay, now we're gonna create, so of course before in this the past tutorial you have learned on how to create the fading effect that inspired by the Infinity War. Now we're gonna use the behavior script. So for us to enable behavior script, we're just going to add new under object panel. So you will see the helper script, click on behavior. So when you enable behavior here, what happens is that don't change anything at the top part. You just need to change the trigger. So for me, I want to try to do something related to mouth open. Okay, so I'll just choose face event, but there are plenty of things that you can choose. So maybe if you want to check, like let's say you want to use touch event. So let's say you want to add an object in the here in the middle, and then you want to tap on it and then you disappear. You can do that thing as well, but I'm more interested to create face event, right? It's something related to the face. So I just click on face event. Okay, and for the event type, so here's the interesting part, you can actually choose any event type. You don't necessarily need to choose mouth open. You can actually use the eyebrows part or even case or smile. Okay, so I'm going to choose mouth open because that's my most common thing, because people normally use mouth open as a, it's a native thing when it comes to people playing with lenses. All right, so and then you can choose whether you want to allow this thing to be multiple or you want it to just be once. So I'm just going to put it always. Delay time, there's not going to be any delays here. And the response time, here's the part when it comes like, okay, now here's the thing. I mean, you already have this whole this whole thing where you can have this ideal part. It's just fading away, but it's not fading basically based on a trigger. You can see it just loop, it's just a loop. So for you to enable the idle part, what you're going to do is this. You got to disappear, I mean under fade, and go all the way down to tween alpha, disable play automatically. So when you disable play automatically, what happens is that there will be no loop. I mean, just disable the loop as well. There will be nothing going on. It's just idle, all right? So it's not, nothing is actually happening, so that you can actually enable the behavior script. So mouth open, response time. So for this type, whenever it comes like using tweening, you gotta be able to run tween. So normally what we think is that we might just want to enable the set. So set enable is just like click on set enable and then click target, and then you might want to choose fade, but it won't work actually because you're just enabling the set, but you're not running the tween. So you got to change the response type to run tween. Now target object, photographic camera, disappear. Now for the tween name, so I hope you remember in the previous tutorial where I actually taught you that you must rename, you must put a name for the tween, because it's very important, especially when it comes to behavior script, because you got to call that tween now. So you can just go there and then look for the tween name. So it's fade. Just gonna copy it. All right, fade. Now you have run tween. Okay, now fade. So what's going to happen right now is this. You're going to have an ideal face like this, with, of course, with a video or maybe it's your face, and when you open your mouth, you're going to disappear. So that's the effect that we're going to create right now. Let's just go to the video. Okay, let's see, and you can see the effect was just done just like that. Okay, so you can actually just refresh this thing and you can test whether it's really working. Again, I definitely push this lens to your device and you can try it on your device to make that, to see whether it's really working or not. And of course you can change the event type here. So I can change the mouth open to maybe browse raised. So you see nothing is working because I just changed to browse raised. So I can just go to the video part and maybe raise eyebrows. Okay. Let's see. Mouth open. I'm not sure why not. I mean, raise eyebrows like that. Okay, mouth open is just working nice over there. Brows raised. Maybe about just this. Yeah. So you got that effect, right? So when you raise your brows, you disappear. So basically you're gonna use different types of event and different type of triggers for you to actually achieve this kind of effect. So you can choose. So I'm gonna choose another one over here, the touch event. So maybe I can add a 3D object. Okay, so maybe I can rename this as tap. Okay, so we want to enable a tapping effect. I want to make it smaller. I want to make it, just make it look nice. Okay, maybe just like this. All right, maybe it's a small box thing, because what I'm doing right now is I'm making it at the back, so that's why you can't see this box being done like right in front. I mean, it's not in front of the device camera texture, it's at the back, but it's okay because we just want to do some testing over here. And go to behavior, touch target. Okay, so when you touch this, it disappears. I mean, you disappear actually. So you can try this thing multiple times and you disappear again. But if let's say you want to do something else, there's nothing's clicking except for you touching. All right, so that's exactly how you can recreate the Infinity War fade away effect using Lens Studio. And of course you can now recreate this whole thing and can just do it by yourself by using different types of triggers. Okay, so I hope you like this video. Do subscribe to this channel because there'll be more videos coming up soon on Lens Studio as well as Spark AR, and I'll be seeing you in the next video.